Bag Makers. Wanted to come on and do a quick update as promised, mainly about the Bag Makers retreat, which is what I've promised to do an update about. But I did just want to apologise for not kind of being on and doing tutorials and such of late. Kind of had a really bad few weeks, kind of not really been in a very good place lately, so I've just not really been sewing. I've had quite a few things going on which I'm not really kind of going to go into because I'll probably get upset, but yeah, it's just not been a good few weeks and I actually just haven't been sewing. Normally sewing is my therapy when I feel like this, but I've actually found that it's been the opposite. That's just not how I felt. So yeah, so I actually haven't been sewing at all. So as you'll know, I actually have a business that supplies hardware for bag makers and what have you, and it's just been a nightmare for getting supplies in. I've had loads of deliveries held up. Obviously the costs of getting those supplies in each time I go to order, the costs of them have just gone through the roof, and just, you know, just other things as well. I've had no internet in the studio since the 14th of April, because I was changing over suppliers and there's been loads of technical issues, so I actually haven't even had any internet in the studio since then. That got sorted out yesterday, and that's just the work side that I've had going on. I've had loads of other things going on as well, so yeah, that's why there's been no videos. So if anybody's got any medals that they want to send Andy, aka Mr. Grumpy, feel free, because he definitely deserves one. I've been a bit of a nightmare to live with lately, but yeah, I'm hoping things are starting to settle down a little bit, so I'm hoping to kind of get myself out of my funk and get back to the sewing machine and get myself back into a little bit of a routine. Deliveries are starting to sort of peter through a little bit at the moment, and I'm starting to get on top of the website and stuff. So yeah, anyway, that's work stuff, and I did promise an update about the Northeast Bag Makers Retreat, which is all sorted out. So I have, you know, even though, you know, I've been in, like I say, a little bit of a tiz with myself, I have been beavering away in the background trying to sort that out. It hasn't actually been as easy as what I thought it would be. I thought, you know, I'd find a lovely little venue and it would all be really straightforward, and it hasn't been the case. As a small business myself, I've really wanted to sort of have it in like an independent type venue. I wasn't really looking to kind of have it in, you know, sort of like a corporate hotel, you know, with a meeting room and overnight stays in that sort of, you know, like the Marriott and Holiday Inn type places. I really kind of wanted to stay away from, you know, big sort of corporate event. I wanted to kind of keep it independent, but I've really found it quite hard to either get people to get back to me or it not be very not unreasonably priced, because obviously that makes it sound as if, you know, that makes it sound like, you know, I think it's excessive. But I suppose a lot of these venues do, you know, quite big events, and you know, ours will be quite a small event, and it's probably not what they're looking for. So I did look at a venue in Durham, which was lovely. They were really helpful, but it just wasn't really suitable because of access issues. The room that we would have been using for sewing was on the first floor, and there wasn't any lifts, so obviously lugging sewing machines and everything else that we would have wanted to take with us would have been quite difficult, and that's would have ruled out anybody as well who possibly has mobility issues, which I just wasn't happy to do. So I have found a venue that is an independent venue, and they've been really helpful, absolutely lovely, and really keen to kind of try and make the event sort of what we want it to be, and kind of help us arrange it that way. So it's in South Shields. It's in a little hotel called the Little Haven Hotel, and it's right on the beach, but it's right at the very end of the beach, so it's right sort of as you kind of go round into where the the river comes round into the beach, so it's like where the marina is. It's really quite quiet. It's quite picturesque, sort of the views out, and we've got one of the like the small function rooms that they're going to let us have. So it's going to be held on the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd of October, but obviously arriving on the 21st of October. So basically they said check-ins from around about 3 p.m, but obviously if people arrive before then, they can leave the luggage if the rooms aren't ready, and then just check in later if they want to then go and do a little bit of sightseeing. So I've put all the details that I've got so far on the website. So it will run with 2 nights overnight stay, with breakfast on the Saturday and Sunday morning. There will be an evening meal included on the Friday evening and the Saturday evening, and that is a 2-course meal, and there will be lunch provided on both the Saturday and the Sunday, and we have use of the room all day Saturday and all day Sunday. I do actually have the option, if people are interested and will have enough interest in the retreat, to actually have the room on the Friday as well. So if there's enough interest and people want to arrive earlier on the Friday, I can actually hire the room on the Friday as well. So if people want to arrive on the Friday sort of morning time, and then have the room during the day on the Friday to, you know, start prepping or cutting out, or just start doing some sewing, then I can arrange that as well. But we've definitely got the Saturday and the Sunday. Now, one of the other things that I'm really excited about, again, I'm a small business owner, I'm from the UK, so I'm really sort of passionate about, you know, UK / British business owners, is the bag designer that we're going to be using is a British bag designer as well. So the lovely Emma from Studio 7T7 has agreed to let us use one of her bag patterns. So the bag pattern is still to be confirmed / arranged. What I'm going to do is sort of liaise with Emma over the next couple of weeks, because there is a bag pattern that we've kind of looked at, but she said she has got another couple coming out, so those could be an option. And she is actually going to give us use of one of her bag patterns, which I am really excited about and extremely grateful for, because like I say, having the bag retreat not only in the northeast, because as us northerners know, we quite often don't have things this far north, but with it being in the UK and then also being able to have a British bag designer allow us to use one of her patterns is also really exciting as well. So as more sort of definite details emerge, I'll put them on the website, and then obviously the people who are confirmed on the bag retreat will also get specific emails with the information that is about the retreat. So like I say, it does include 2 nights accommodation, evening meal on the Friday night and the Saturday night, breakfast on the Sunday and the Monday morning, and lunch on the Saturday and the Sunday. Obviously the bag pattern, use of the facilities for the whole time that we are there. So me and Andy actually went and had food there last night. It was lovely. We went and sat in the conservatory, which overlooks the beach and the river, because kind of where it's situated, it's right on the corner, and it was really, really nice. We took a few pictures sort of outside, so I'll insert them sort of at the end of the video, just to sort of like let you see what the outside is like. Now those who don't know me and Andy, aka Mr Grumpy in real life, won't know that we are actually the fussiest people for food to walk the face of the earth, and both in kind of different ways. I'm really fussy with what I'll eat. Andy's really fussy with how he'll eat what he'll eat. So I thought, well, if me and Andy can go and have food, we'll be I think pretty much everybody else will be okay. And the choice for the food was really nice. I had a pizza which was absolutely beautiful, and I actually am not a massive pizza fan, but I just really fancied it last night and it was lovely. I had a chicken Kiev pizza and it was gorgeous, and Andy had steak and he's really fussy with steak and he really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was lovely. So, sitting in the conservatory, really nice views, service was lovely, staff were really nice. So yeah, I did ask them if, you know, the menu, if somebody was to say there's nothing on that menu that I like, it was like that wouldn't be a problem, because they have a menu that they have in the sort of more less formal side of the restaurant. People would be able to pick from there, and they have vegan curries and you know, vegetarian dishes. If the vegetarian option wasn't something people wanted, you know, they said they would accommodate, it wouldn't be an issue. So they were absolutely lovely. So like I say, we thoroughly enjoyed our food. Service was absolutely spot on. So yeah, I thought, well, if me and Andy can go and have food and enjoy it, then pretty much everybody else should be all right, because like I say, we are like food wise really fussy eaters. So yeah, it was a success. So yeah, like I say, we took some pictures while we were down there last night, and I'll put them in at the end. So I've done some costings. So again, it's all on the website, and I've detailed in the website as well what you get. But just to quickly run through, if you want a room on your own, the full weekend's £325, and that includes the overnight stay, your breakfast, your evening meal, use of the room, your sewing pattern, obviously my help and guidance and hints and tips and banter for the whole weekend, and that is a room on your own. If you want to come and share with somebody else, so if you've got a sewing buddy who you want to meet up with and you just want to share a room while you're there, that's £250 each. So basically you'll be sharing the cost of the room, but it includes breakfast for you both, your evening meal, and obviously the whole activities over the weekend for each of you. So I say £250 for each person. So if anybody wants to come and bring a non-sewn partner with you, so obviously if I was coming and bringing Mr Grumpy with me, that is £425 for the entire room and the sewing person. So that's a total cost. So that would include the sewing person's activities, overnight stay, food and such like, and it would include the overnight stay and the evening meals for the non-sewn person. It doesn't include lunches for the non-sewn person, because obviously I'm presuming that, you know, your partner will probably go off and do a little bit sightseeing and what have you. Obviously if they're staying around the hotel, they'll be able to sort of grab lunch from the cafe or the restaurant themselves. But that £425 is completely for the 2 people. And then I do have an option for non-residential. So if you're very local and you don't want to stay over, but you do want to have all the other activities, there is an option to do that, which is £175. Sorry, I'm having to remember because the figures have sort of started to mingle, but it is all on the website. So basically what that includes is the the retreats for the Saturday and the Sunday, and it does include the evening meals for the Friday and the Saturday, so that basically you can still come and have the social experience, getting to know everybody on both evenings, and it includes the lunches on the Saturday and the Sunday as well. The reason I've done it with the food included is obviously to make it easier for numbers for the restaurants, so that they know how many people are using the rooms and are eating, so that they know for staff. Obviously when I was discussing with the events manager Jan, that was how we decided it would make it easier. If there's anybody who does really want to come and just doesn't want to have food or anything like that, it probably could be arranged, but I would need to just kind of do it completely separately and do it off website. So all the options are on the website. Spaces are quite limited because I'm going to keep the retreat fairly small. I have kept costings really quite down. I'm not actually making very much money on organising it, because it's the first time that I'm sort of organising it. It's new to me, it's the first time I've done it. It's the first time obviously that we've had anything up in this area that I'm aware of anyway. And obviously with everything going on in the world at the moment, the cost of everything, with, you know, the petrol and gas and everything like that, I really wanted to make it affordable for everybody. And with, you know, the last few years that everybody's had with not being able to go out and do anything and not being able to meet and, you know, go away and that sort of thing, I thought I really want to make it as affordable as I possibly can. So I have kept the costings down as much as I possibly can, but I also am keeping numbers down, basically so that I don't sort of oversubscribe and make it too big and make it too much work for myself. I want it to run as smoothly as possible because I want everybody to have a really, really good time and it being as enjoyable for everybody, including me as well. So that's basically all the information that I've got at the moment. Obviously, want to know how many people are coming. We'll have a bit more sort of structure to the day. Like I say, we will have a bag pattern to follow. If people are wanting to come along and aren't actually wanting to follow along to the pattern and just want to bring their own projects, you know, if they've got their own stuff that they want to do and they don't want to actually follow along with what everybody else is doing, that's fine, that's no problem. You know, there's no sort of set thing that, you know, you must do this. If people just want to come along and do their own thing, that's absolutely fine. It will be a work at your own pace. There's not going to be, you know, on this bit at this time and this bit at this time. It will just be a work at your own pace, and I'll just kind of be floating to help people out or give hints and tips as I'm needed. So I hope that answers most of the questions that anybody's got about it. Anybody's got any questions, either drop us an email or put it in the comments box down below. I'll put a link in the description box to the page where you can book on the retreat. You only need to pay a deposit to book on the retreat, which is £60, and then what I'll do when you've paid your deposit is I'll just drop you an email with regards to how you want to break down the remaining cost, because as long as it's paid 6 weeks before, and then I'll just send over PayPal invoices, so the cost can be broken down over the next few months. It doesn't have to be all paid off in one lump sum. And then there's also a form on there that if you're not quite sure whether you definitely want to book up, but you just want to be kept informed of any updates, there's a form on there as well, so you can fill that in, and it'll basically put you into a little sort of section on my email list that is just for the Bag Makers Retreat. So you'll only get emails about the Bag Makers Retreat on that one. So like I say, the spaces are limited. There are actually a few people booked in on it already, so there are a few spaces gone. So I'm hoping that it'll fill up quite quickly, and we're starting to get things put in place. And what I'll probably do, if everybody that books in pretty much is on Facebook, I might just sort of start a little group, just sort of like a little subgroup where I can just kind of put everybody in there, and then people can get to know each other's faces. And then if there's updates, I can kind of put them in there rather than be emailing out to everybody, because sometimes you miss emails. So but we can just kind of see how it goes. So like I say, hope that has answered pretty much everybody's questions on what I've got planned. If anybody's got any suggestions or something that I haven't thought of, feel free to drop it in the comments box down below, and I'll pop a few photographs in at the end that we took yesterday when we went for food, and I'll try and see if I can either do a voiceover. I'm not really sure if I know how to do that, or if I can type in sort of, because one of the pictures is looking over onto the other side of the river, and you can see the priory Tynemouth and what have you, which is quite pretty. So I'll see if I can put in a description of those. But anyway, I hope it's been informative and I haven't prattled on for too long, because it's been a little while since I've done a video. And like I say, I do hope to get myself out of my self-pity stage, for want of a better word, and get some videos done over the next couple of weeks. And I shall see you all soon, and I hope everybody enjoys the Jubilee weekend and we have some really nice weather and people can make the most of it. Anyway, speak soon. Bye. These are just a few of the pictures we got last night when we went for food. So these are just outside the hotel. You can see just vaguely in the distance there Tynemouth Priory across the other side of the harbour. So you can just see that it's at the quiet end of the beach. There's a turtle outside the hotel, as you do. That's sort of like looking along the beach area. They've been doing some regeneration work, so there's sort of some statues outside of the hotel, but this is what it looks like. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to see my next video when it's released. I'll see you next time.